Hello, welcome to State Route Homestead. My name is Morgan. Today I wanted to share with you a Costco haul. I am restocking my pantry from the Pantry Challenge, so we got a lot of goodies to share here. The first half of the video, I'm going to show you kind of what I got, and then the second half, I'm going to show you what I do to prepare all of this stuff for long-term storage. Okay, the first thing that I stocked up on is a bunch of cheese because cheese freezes really well and we eat a lot of cheese. I got 4 2.5-pound bags of mozzarella, and I got 2 2.5-pound bags of the shredded cheddar jack cheese and 2 of the sharp cheddar. I also got this bag of Parmesan cheese, a 2-pound bag. I only got 1 of these because we don't really use Parmesan cheese that much. For my family, the shredded kind is the way to go versus the powdered, shake in a jar stuff. I hate that stuff. I never did like it growing up, so I thought I didn't like Parmesan cheese. So this is what we get from now on, is just the shredded Parmesan cheese to use in our dishes. I also got a half gallon of half and half. Got some whole bean coffee. We have 2.5 pounds. Together that makes 5 pounds of whole bean coffee. And we actually already broke into this morning because we're out of coffee right now, and it is so good. Usually we buy pre-ground coffee, but I've been really trying to search for an affordable whole bean option so that I can keep some whole bean coffee vacuum sealed on my pantry shelves, because we drink coffee every single day, multiple cups a day. So I figure it would be one of the staples that I would like to have in my pantry all the time, because I'm getting really tired of, when we run out of coffee, running down to the Dollar General down the street and buying the marked up coffee there. So I'll just keep enough on hand for us to have some all the time. I also got a 3-pound tub of sour cream. We eat a lot of sour cream, and it is the one ingredient I haven't been able to figure out a nice pantry substitute for long-term storage. I have been able to work around basically everything else. Like cheese, we freeze shredded cheese, and we will use shredded cheese for everything, no sliced cheese. And if we need sliced cheese, like for a burger, we'll just melt it in the pan. Sour cream, you can't really do that with. You can't freeze it. It doesn't freeze very well. You can freeze it into a meal if you cook a meal with it, but as far as like putting it on top of tacos, you have to have it fresh for that. So short of having an animal in my backyard that produces milk that I can make sour cream out of, this is the one thing I'm always going to have to go to the store for. So that's unfortunate to me, because I like the idea of being able to have everything I need on hand, or at least a decent substitute for something I might need on hand. But oh well, I guess that's kind of life, I thought about trying sour cream powder, but I've heard that that doesn't quite get back to the same consistency as regular sour cream. So I also got us 2 big bottles of Frank's Red Hot Sauce. We love hot sauce as well. I do plan on making some of my own hot sauce, because I do have a bunch of hot peppers in the freezer for that. But until I get around to that, I would like to have some of this on hand. I also got 2 bottles. How many ounces are these? These are 28 ounces each of the Olive Garden dressing. I use this for marinades, and we also just enjoy this dressing for our salads. I also got 3 pounds of bananas. I know that my husband and I won't go through these all. We never do. It's just us. And I like bananas, but I don't like them quite as much as he does. So him as one person cannot go through all of these. When they start to brown up a bit, I'll either freeze them, or I will turn them into some banana bread. Or I had someone the other day suggest like a banana pancake, and that sounds delicious. So I will have to try that. We got 8 cans of Spam, low sodium Spam, 25% less sodium. My husband didn't want to get it because of that, and I was like, I think Spam has enough salt in it already that you're not really gonna miss that 25%. And we tried some this morning and tasted fine. Couldn't even tell that it was low sodium Spam. At least I couldn't. And I love salt, so I feel like if anybody could tell, it would be me. This is going to be a good staple for us. We like to eat Spam a lot for breakfast, and we like to put it in rice bowls. We'll have like Spam and rice, and my husband makes this really good spicy mayonnaise to go on top. Speaking of mayonnaise, I got 2 64-ounce tubs of mayonnaise. That's a lot of mayonnaise, but I eat a lot of mayonnaise. My husband will eat mayonnaise sometimes. Like if he makes spicy mayonnaise, he'll eat that. If we make a like cabbage slaw to go on top of pork tacos, he'll eat it in that. But aside from that, he doesn't really eat mayonnaise. I'm the one that eats mayonnaise on everything. So this is mostly for me. My husband likes their roast chicken. So we got a roast chicken. We'll probably eat on this some tonight, and I will save the bones for bone broth. But yeah, it's a whole rotisserie chicken. I got us some protein shakes, an 18-pack. We've never tried this brand before, so we'll see how we like it. But I mostly drink these in the morning for breakfast on my way to work because I do a lot of physical work, and this helps keep my energy levels up and keep me full until lunchtime. And my husband also likes these to drink for his workouts. I got some ground turkey, which, if you can believe it, I have never bought ground turkey before. So I always buy turkey breasts, never bought ground turkey, but I think I don't like ground beef. I just don't like the flavor of it. But I like turkey, and I have discovered that I like ground pork a lot. So I think I'll like ground turkey a lot as well. And we got, how many of these did we get? We got a 4-pack of 1.7-pound pouches. I also got a bunch of chicken breasts. I love chicken breasts, they're my favorite. So we got about 8.5 pounds of chicken breasts. So that'll get us through quite a few meals. We also bought some of this very good looking thick sliced hickory smoked bacon, which looks fancier than any bacon we've had before. So I'll be excited to try this on the weekend. We also bought, for the first time, I've never bought one of these before, a 13.7-pound pork shoulder butt. Never purchased one of these things in my life. I'm picky when it comes to my meat, what I will and won't eat. And I've discovered recently, within the past 6 months, that I love ground pork. So I figure it would be, we were at the Peddler's Mall yesterday, and I found a meat grinder, which is actually right behind me here, for 20 bucks. Had all the parts and everything. And I had been thinking about lately whether I might like to make my own sausage, like play around with the spices and grind my own pork and everything for our meals, just to try it, see how I like it. So we bought this in order to grind up ourselves, and I thought maybe it might be cheaper to grind it ourselves. I am not sure. I'll still have to do the math on it. I was going to do it either way, buy one of these to try and grind myself either way. But it would be a good coincidence if it was cheaper to grind it ourselves. So we got a 40-count pack of flour tortillas because my husband has a tendency to put everything he eats into a tortilla. He'll make breakfast burritos, quesadillas. I mean, if it has a tortilla on it, he is happy. So I've seen him turn many of things into a burrito that are not supposed to be a burrito. And he picked out this habanero cheese, and we've had this before. It's good. I'm gonna actually shred this up for us a little bit later with the food processor and freeze it, because the last time we got it, we decided to eat it as like a snack cheese and slice it, and we only got through about half of it before it went bad, and I felt really bad about that. My husband also picked out some Honeycrisp apples, which look really delicious. So in this box we have 2, 4, 6, 7 Honeycrisp apples. I got 8 7-ounce cans of albacore tuna. I noticed on here that it doesn't say Dolphin Safe anywhere. I usually get Dolphin Safe. I haven't really done much research on what Dolphin Safe actually means. So I picked it up anyway because it was a good price. But I do think I'm going to do some more research on what exactly that means, just because I'm curious about it now. And it does say on the box that you can scan a QR code and it'll take you to Costco's sustainability webpage for seafood. So I'm sure they have some information on there about this, which I would like to know since I bought it. I bought a 5 dozen pack of cage-free eggs because this seemed like the best deal that they had there. We eat a lot of eggs, so I know we'll go through this. And my husband wanted this 32 variety pack of sparkling water because we both drink a lot of sparkling water. I am going to go ahead and get some of this put up, and I will show you what I'm going to do in order to preserve some of this for long-term storage. While I was putting some turkey up in our big freezer, I realized there was some stuff that we got at Costco that I forgot about. So we got a 4-pack of Kirkland butter, 2 whole young chickens, some tortilla crusted tilapia, which looks pretty good. My husband wanted some chicken nuggets, so we got this 5-pound bag of panko crusted chicken nuggets. And we also got a bag of Pacific cod. We don't usually buy cod. I've been buying tilapia since me and my husband have been married, so for like 4 years now. So I think it's time for a different fish source for protein, so we're gonna do some cod. Now let's get back to our long-term food storage. So let's get started with the turkey. I know at least one of these I'm going to use tomorrow to make some turkey chili that I'm going to can up. So I'm going to go ahead and take one of them off and get it in the fridge.
What was left was equal to about 70 ounces, and we eat about 10 ounces of meat per meal, so I knew this could get us 7 dinners. So I went ahead and got my food saver out, cut the bags to length, put them on their stands, and got the scale out so I could weigh out about 10 ounces per bag.
So I will go ahead and get these vacuumed up, and then I'll show you what I do after we vacuum them. Now that I have this vacuumed and sealed, I'm going to go ahead and take my rolling pin and roll this out to fill the whole bag up. That way it'll be really thin. The thinner we roll this out, the faster it's going to thaw when it comes out of the freezer. So that way, if we have a night where we haven't planned a meal, which happens, you know, if I'm on my way home and we're on the phone and talking about what we're going to have for dinner, it takes me about 40 minutes to get home. We take one of these out of the freezer. By the time I get home, it's thawed out. So that really helps with meals sometimes. So we're going to get these all vacuumed and rolled out really thin. They also stack really nicely in the freezer when they're all thin and flat like this. This is also a lot easier to do with a heavier rolling pin. Just the heavier the rolling pin you have, the more easy it's going to be to roll this out, because you kind of have to hold it with one hand and roll it out with the other. I'm actually getting kind of nervous about this other meat being out. I don't really know how long it's going to take me to do this, so I'm going to get that in the fridge and we'll just take it out as we need it. Okay, these are all rolled out. I'm going to put these in the freezer on a flat surface so that they freeze without getting in between the little rungs of the wire mesh shelf in the freezer. And then we're going to get started on divvying up that bacon.
Each pack of bacon had 14 slices in it, and usually we do about 4 slices each for breakfast on the weekends. But since these are so thick, I decided to do 2 pieces each, and that gave us 7 days worth of breakfast bacon.
Our bacon's all done, so I'm going to go ahead and get that put in the freezer, and I am going to take care of the pork butt and the chicken, but I am going to use those as a part of my meal planning tomorrow. So I should have that video posted around this time as well if you're interested in going and looking at that and kind of seeing what I do with the pork butt to turn it into some sausage and some other things for us, and the chicken as well. I think I'm going to do a few more chicken marinades and a couple of other things. So if you're interested in that, that'll be there. But let's get started on some of this cheese next, since we have so much of it to put up. The first thing I'm going to do for these cheeses is I'm going to open a bag of each and put about half of what's in here in a quart bag and put those in the fridge because we are out of cheese. So that'll be our cheese to use for the next couple of weeks. For the rest of this cheese, what I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum seal it. When you vacuum seal cheese, shredded cheese, it has a tendency to clump together. If it's store-bought and it has that coating that they put on it to keep your shredded cheese from clumping, then it helps. If you're just shredding your own cheese, then it's almost impossible to get it not to turn into one big clump when you vacuum seal it, unless you do a hard freeze on it beforehand. So what I'm going to do is get my cookie sheet out and any other flat thing that I have. I think I have a couple of canning boxes that I can line with my silicone baking mat. And I'm going to spread this cheese out and pop it in the freezer and let it do a hard freeze first. And then we will get it into bags, vacuum seal it, and freeze it. That way, when we go to use it, it's not just a big clump of cheese left over.
This cheese did take quite a while to freeze in batches, and about halfway through, I decided to just stick the whole bag in the freezer. I was afraid it would freeze together as one big clump, but it did pretty okay. At least the Colby Jack did fine and the cheddar did fine. The mozzarella did clump together a little bit, but I took a mallet that I use for my 5-gallon buckets to close them and pounded it apart, which worked. So I think for the amount of space that it saved in my freezer, it was worth it to have to do that. So if you're wanting to know, you can just freeze the whole bag and not have to lay it out flat like I did. And as long as you're willing to put a little bit of elbow grease into it, you can get it apart in order to put it into separate vacuum sealed bags.
For the coffee, I'm going to use some wide mouth quart jars and the jar sealing attachment on my Food Saver. Okay, now I just need to get these jars up in the pantry and I will be back as soon as our cheese is ready to start vacuum sealing up. It is the next day. I went ahead and let our cheese do a hard freeze overnight, and now we're going to get them divided up. I am going to divide the Parmesan into 4 different portions since we don't use as much of it as we do the other 2 kinds. So the other 2 I'll only divide up into 2 bags. So let's go get our cheese and get started. For this cheese, I'm gonna kind of just get it a little bit flat before we vacuum seal it. And here we go. I did leave a little bit more room at the top in these than I needed to, but that's okay. I can just reuse this when I go to vacuum seal more, or I can use it to vacuum seal something else in the future that'll fit in this bag. And I am curious to see if I can put half of this in a vacuum seal bag and vacuum seal this back and use this as well, because if we could get another use out of this bag, that would be awesome. So we'll see. Now, unfortunately, this bag isn't going to work. It's not sucking the air out. There must be like a hole in it somewhere, or it's just not built for this. So that's a bummer, but oh well. I'm sure you get the gist of what I am doing here, so I will not make you sit through the rest of me vacuum sealing all of this cheese, but I appreciate you coming along with me today, and I hope to see you in another video. Thank you. Bye.